Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Fine, I'll Watch It. I'm Smokin Phat J.
I am Matt Christy.
I am Magnus. Magneto was correct.
You are in the wrong episode, Magnus.
Magneto was correct. And I'm also Jan Brady. And I am Doomsday. We'll be going over this.
We're not talking about X-Men this week. We're saving that for next week for
yeah,
all of it.
we're gonna. This is our tease for X-Men next
Yeah.
week, but we will be talking in full about the series as well as the finale and this week's another wonderful episode. But until then, we're gonna pause and we're gonna talk about Tales of the Empire because last weekend was
Star Wars.
May the 4th, Star Wars Day.
Yep.
And of course they dropped, they dropped a few things,
Yeah.
and one of them being this 6-episode series, Tales of the Empire, which is, a companion piece to Tales of the Jedi that we saw last year, telling the story.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that last year.
It wasn't last.
No, Visions 2 was last year.
So it was 2 years.
Tales of Jedi was the September release for Disney Plus in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a year and a half or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So we have. You're gonna have to remember. I'm stuck with the names. The first 3 episodes are about
Morgan Elsbeth.
Morgan Elsbeth,
Who we first were introduced to in Mandalorian season 2.
Right, and then was the, kind of one of the main bad guys from the Ahsoka show. And then we have the last 3 episode is about Barriss.
Barriss Offee, who James knows so well.
Yeah. James's favorite Star Wars character.
I'm not sure
ever.
I knew either 2 of these motherfuckers.
You knew
Morgan.
Morgan.
By the way, in watching this, and we'll get into our overalls, and be sure to like and subscribe, and naturally, spoilers ahead for Tales of the Sith brothers here. But I was thinking, if George Lucas was still naming these characters, that character would be Taxi Face. Like, I guarantee you, that would be like Tarkin Taxi Face or some shit like that. Like, that would have been its name.
So yeah. Anyways, we have two different stories that intersect in a few ways. Short episodes. What are they? 20, 22? Or
Not even that long.
Yeah.
Not even quite that long.
Yeah.
Like 15 minutes or so. If you take out
I watched the entire thing just in one sitting.
Yeah, no,
like I just sat down.
Same.
It's easy. Real quick note on it. I enjoyed the format they chose this time. I think they listened to fans from when they did Tales of the Jedi, because Tales of the Jedi went back and forth between Dooku and Ahsoka.
True. Yeah.
Like episode of Dooku, episode of Ahsoka, episode of Dooku, episode of Ahsoka. This time they went straight. Here's 3 episodes of Morgan Elsbeth, 3 episodes of Barriss. So it, in a viewing stance, it was a lot better than Tales of the Jedi for at least that part of it.
I gotta go again. Weird reasoning behind making them episodes. Like, why not just tell them? I guess they jump time a bit, so maybe there's a little bit of reason, but it just still feels like, why wasn't it just 2 45-minute things? You know what I mean, or whatever.
I think it's just because of the time jump for each of them. They were,
and this was Cowboy Hat that did this, right?
Yeah.
This is Filoni Steaks or whatever, Italian McItalian.
Yeah,
just the Filoni.
Pretty much anything you see going forward is going to be Filoni, except for the Acolyte.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do like we normally do and do our generals, but let's split it up between the 2 stories, I think. So let's give your general feeling on each different story, Matt.
So Morgan Elsbeth's story, I enjoyed both of them, just in an enjoyment stance. Morgan Elsbeth's story, I don't know that it was fully necessary, but at the same time, I didn't hate getting some back information on her for being this character who kind of randomly appeared in an episode of Mandalorian along with Ahsoka's first live-action appearance. It basically gave the reasoning behind what was going on with her, which was nice. Was it overall necessary? I don't know. I don't know unless they're doing a lot more with, which I guess they are, Dathomir going forward.
Yeah, it seems like they are, and I have to say that I feel the same way. Like that was the lesser of the 2 for me because it just felt like I wasn't learning a whole lot new. I
Yeah.
mean, other than, you know, the involvement of her being there when the purge happened on the planet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Dathomir stuff, which they'd already really kind of introduced that she came from there anyways. So it wasn't like a big thing. Whereas in the second story with Barris, like there was a lot of cool reveals in that one. That one furthered a storyline of a cool character, confirmed some rumors that were out there about the seventh sister or whatever. Was it seventh?
Fourth.
Sister?
It was fourth.
Fourth sister.
That was the fourth one.
So that was cool, and it ties into a lot of things. Ties into Clone Wars. Ties into the Fallen Order games. You know what I mean? Ties into kind of the stuff that's going on now too. So that one gave me a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten that it even was going to be about her, and not someone that I was like, oh, I can't wait. But all the stuff was valuable.
I was expecting them to have like a bigger meetup sort of thing. It's that didn't happen. That would have been nice. I like Taxi Face's story more than Young Old Lady's story. Only because Young Old Lady, the first 2 episodes are fucking unwatchable. Like they're 10 minutes. This is the longest. If you're on death row, put on episodes 1 to 2 and Tell the Sithy Brothers, because it's 10 minutes each, and it was the longest goddamn 10 minutes of my life. And then
Can I pause for a second?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I want to pause just off of everything real quick. James right now kind of looks like both Magneto and Princess Leia because of the headphones.
nice.
Which
Yeah.
is weirdly
There you
appropriate for the content in this episode.
I whenever I'm in space, I always fucking Mary Poppins that shit.
There you go. All right.
So
The only point I'm going to argue with you is that because it hadn't been seen in visual media yet, seeing the Purge of Dathomir.
Yeah, the Persian Death
Was-
was
Okay.
It was like that was like literally like 2 minutes of the.
No, I know. I'm just saying that was
Yeah.
the best part about that first episode.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
and the fight sequences in this show were pretty fucking amazing. Like all of them were really fucking cool to watch.
So
you know what I mean?
I think they actually did mocap.
Okay, I mean, it
and
felt
that's why it looked as realistic as it did compared
Yeah.
to a lot of fight sequences you see.
sped up but real, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, and by the way, James, that was another character from Rebels, the assassin that was trying to take her out in episode 2.
there you go. So glad I watched them episodes.
Yeah.
What?
No, the first. Can we go into the stuff we don't like?
Yes,
That we
let's
get.
do it.
There's
Let's do it.
there's stuff we all like in this fucking show, and it's if you're a Star Wars fan, just shut up and go watch Cowboy Hat stuff because he knows how to write some shit apparently. But first, can we talk about the fucking Shrek 2 2004 CGI animation all the way through this motherfucker and how like they need to shit or get off the pot with this? Like, not everything needs to look like AOL CD-ROM like fucking things. You're an animation studio. Apparently, you have money because you don't mind throwing it away at the box office. I saw the reports. So like, why is the animation for this looking so stagnant, looking so the same as everything else for the last 20 years? It's like that for me was the first kind of like there were 2 or 3 interesting shots, but we got a lot more interesting in like The Mandalorian
Yeah.
season 2, so sort of stuff. So it was rough with this.
I didn't have a big problem with the animation myself. They are trying to keep it true to kind of that universe's animation, which is the Clone Wars, which is the Rebels, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
A lot more hard edges on the faces and everything else like that.
Yeah.
For Clone Wars especially. So
yeah. So I didn't have that big of a problem with it, but I do really like in Visions when we get something really interesting. You know what I mean?
Something
So-
cool, something like change it up,
But I
do
also
something.
understand why they're trying to do that because it just maintains continuity.
compared to
and-
Clone Wars, the backgrounds and what they do with the backgrounds in the episode, they look beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
And we'll get into it. Episodes 3 and 5 are really great. Like out of this, I think it's like, is it 6?
There's
Six
6
episodes,
total,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so and some of these really stand out. But yeah, episode 1 and 2 were such a drag with Young Old Lady, and it was just very kind of it's nothing new, nothing we haven't seen before, and so I was just kind of like, why the fuck are we watching this? And so the episode 3, they gave her a lot,
Yeah.
and it was really well done. It was it stuck the landing. It was a really strong ending, but fucking getting to that was like, I was just, all my notes were like, Matt Christensen can go fucking like I am sick and tired of watching this dumbass shit I wasn't gonna watch anyway. And so
That ain't my fault. That's this show's format's fault. You don't.
We've been doing that
Yeah.
to you for like 3-4 years
Have
now,
you,
bro.
Have you truly enjoyed anything Star Wars other than
enjoy-
episodes of Mandalorian?
I mean, yeah, I don't know if there's any other Star Wars stuff that I've enjoyed recently.
mean,
It's tough with Star
Pieces
Wars.
of Visions, both 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Well, we got another chance
Yeah.
coming up real soon.
We
so,
do.
yeah.
A whole new series, James.
Whole new series, The Acolyte. Yay.
What now? What
The
now?
Acolyte.
The Acolyte. Hey, it's more baddie bad guy stories. That's what
All
Star
right.
Wars is all about right
There's a full trailer
Yeah.
that shows stuff
Yeah.
this time.
now.
Well, do we have any more bitches before we get into the
You're
praise?
the only one's bitch so far.
No, yeah, I'm with you on, again, kind of the pointlessness of the first 3. I do agree with you as well that it's in that 3rd episode. We did get once you had Thrawn more involved. I think it actually made me.
Well, Thrawn was episode 2, and
Thrawn- you're right.
episode 2, Morgan Elsbeth was the least interesting character in that
Right.
entire episode.
But it did come off in the end strong. And now for the
Yeah.
Barris episodes, like that one, I ate that one up. Like I was excited to see
Yeah.
pretty much every bit of that whole
I-
progress. And I thought it was interesting about how they had it, one going, well, not really from good guy to bad guy, but you see like the fall into, and then you see kind of someone come out of it, so.
That was an interesting choice for Barris for it to be Tales of the Empire. Is that Barris? So James, since you don't know Barris at all, Barris is from the Clone Wars. She was one of the Jedi Order, where she was the first character to question the Jedi directly.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like, why are we doing this? Especially with the
Yeah.
with the Clone Wars specifically. Why are we involved in this war? We're Jedi. We're supposed to be
Yeah.
keepers of the peace.
Mm-hmm.
So her at the beginning of the episode being in the jail cell was because she was put in the cell for her basically rebellion against the Jedi.
Yeah, I didn't agree with it. Yeah.
So as a character, she's not really one who fell into the Empire, chose the Empire's side per se. She just was opposed to what the Jedi were doing with their involvement in the war.
Mm-hmm. And
I really liked episodes 4 and 5. I would have liked episode 6 had it not been like comically cheesy in moments. It was just like it was a fine ending for that character, but it was like how that last like it's not long, but it's like the last 10 minutes of it. It's just like, oh my
there
god.
was some weird stuff. Like I have to say, when she's like, I'm just trying to slow you down, and then you go ahead and go in there and you're gonna get lost. And I'm just like, you didn't try to stop her longer? Like there was nothing stopping you from keeping her there longer. And like the people still kind of almost got caught. They were like right around the corner when she came in, and it's just like, okay. And then they had a ship in there. It was like, oh, that's what you hid in there. I don't know. That was a little strange. I did like again, like for the character, watching her come full circle and kind of do the same thing that was done to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I think that was strong. You got to see the conflict between her and the other sister, and how and why all those things down. Like every bit of it made sense. I believe whether you knew anything before that or not. You know what I mean? Like they told that character's story on a whole, which they needed to do, because most people watching don't know who the fuck that is either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so. I mean, it gave the hints about what happened to her before in the very brief dialogue you had at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, she was a character that it was nice to see her story and what happened to her after Clone Wars, because she was one that kind of she was taken off, and that was it.
Right. And was it ever confirmed, or was it just rumors that she was the fourth sister? Because that fourth sister showed up in the video games, right? Or it's been talked about.
Lynn was the fourth sister. That's what it says it in the credits. It lists her as the fourth sister.
Hmm.
So,
But she okay. So the seventh sister was who?
Seventh and ninth were the ones that were in the original Jedi
So which one was Barriss?
Survivor. Barriss wasn't given a number.
Yeah, but I think there is.
I'm not saying she wasn't one, but she wasn't officially given a number in this, so I'm not sure which one she was
Yeah,
considered.
but I think that's a thing. I should have looked at it, but I think that there is another sister that they've either talked about or something, and it's been rumored that it was her. And so, from what I understand, that was confirmed in this.
It's very possible. But the fourth sister was Lynn, so it was the other one.
Okay.
But it was nice to see that in the original showing of the two brothers and the two sisters, that you got the guy who went after Ahsoka in the Ahsoka part of Tales of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that tie-in at that point.
I do have to say that, God, I wish they would have done a better job at finding someone who looked like the Grand Inquisitor in the fucking live action.
It's hard because of how tall his head is.
And
I
how
know.
egg-shaped his head.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
needed like a fucking Vincent Price. They needed a like AI Vincent Price to be that part or some shit like that. He's the only person that's like shaped
Or
that way.
you know what? You do what you did with fucking
Sheldon Cooper.
with Thrawn. You just cast Jason Isaacs.
True. True.
No, because that's who says the voice.
And he does kind of
the
have
Grand
a onion
Inquisitor.
head too.
And he
so.
and that is the voice from Rebels.
Mm-hmm. That would have been nice.
So
okay, well
that's it for me. That's my beast with this. 1 and 2 were just boring as shit. 6 was too cheesy. The animation all looked like it just looked like forever ago. But then I was kind of shocked how much I really like 3, 4, and 5, and especially 3 and 5, where it's like I'm gonna go back and rewatch those.
Yeah.
Which is like shocking for me with one of these Star Wars shows.
Yeah, I agree. I am more likely to rewatch the Barriss one, at least those 4, 5, and 6, than any of the Tales from the Jedi. I never went back and watched any of those.
I think we all agreed to just call her Taxi Face. Like I think earlier we were like, it's better if her name is Taxi Face and we just call her Taxi Face. So everybody knows what everybody's talking about.
Hey, my wife's on. She said she might not be, so that's nice.
Oh,
There you go.
welcome, fan.
Yes, welcome. Our one fan.
Number one fan. We'll just say number one fan. We don't have to say it's
There you
just
go.
one.
Nice.
All right. Well, welcome everyone on Instagram.
Hello.
Um,
No, like I said, the visuals and the backgrounds I really enjoyed for all these episodes. From Tales of Jedi, I did watch the Dooku ones again because between Dooku and Ahsoka, I enjoyed seeing Dooku's backstory more.
Again, what was up with Grievous in episode 1? What the fuck was that?
look,
that was fucking Tartakovsky's Grievous.
I got that, but did he just do fucking like what are they called? Whippets? Like did he do some whippets before? Like he's just like I'm gonna get coked up and run out in the field and just do whatever I want.
That again, that's Gennady Tartakovsky's.
Not only
that they tried to say it doesn't count as canon anymore. It's like no, it's fucking canon.
Not only that, it definitely felt like he just watched the final episodes of Game of Thrones and then went out and was like, I'm doing that for sure.
Yeah.
And then they absolutely made it look like fucking a dick killed her. It was just like,
Not just that, like, getting
my
off
hands
on
are
it,
right
like-
here, but
We didn't see one of those 4 hands at any time, man. It was
Yeah.
always below the shot,
That's
you
what I'm
know? It was
saying.
like he was having too much fun there.
yeah,
so,
he was very excited. So
yes,
not have been coke.
nice.
that's all I'm saying.
Space
Yeah,
cocaine.
it's,
Okay, well, let's
let the fan fiction go wild.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Space cocaine.
well let's rate this, and then we will do a little business talking about what we got coming.
Are we rating the entire series or rating them separately?
Let's just rate it all together.
Yeah,
it
it's
came
like
out.
an hour and 10
what?
minutes. Like it feels weird to break it
Yeah.
Oh,
up.
it's out of 7 with halves. All right.
With halves? Dear God. Yeah, because there's 7 kyber crystals, so
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
going back to our classic 7 kyber crystals. Ah, shit. I'm gonna go 4.5. Because if we're rating the entire thing together, I'm going 4.5. Because the Morgan Elsbeth stuff brought it down. If we're rating them individually, I'd probably go 4 and 5.5. So 4 for Morgan, 5.5 for Barris.
Okay.
But so 4.5 is an overall. I think what I'll say about the Morgan Elsbeth one is I enjoy seeing it better as a visualization as opposed to somebody writing a 190-page novel about Morgan Elsbeth's backstory, which will probably still happen anyway.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But I mean, it was nice to see that just kind of a visualization. It's like, here's the cliff notes of what we're going to write this book about.
Yeah.
Though,
So.
if you get the Audible Star Wars books, they're pretty fucking awesome to listen to because they got the background, they got when you're in space, they use all the Star Wars fucking sounds in those Audible
wonderful.
books, and there's amazing.
They're trying to bring Timothy Zahn out of retirement to write more Star Wars
it's
books
pretty
about
great.
Morgan Elsbeth.
Well, I'm gonna give this a 3, and it's because I went into this not giving a shit.
Out of 7?
And
3 out of 7.
We got 7.
it's out of 7.
Yeah, we have 7 kyber crystals. Remember?
Okay, I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
It's better than half. Where it's like,
Fair.
it's hard to say. I guess you need episodes
4,
1
he
and
said.
2 in storytelling for it, but they're so boring. Other than Grievous jerking off to slaughtering everybody, but then episodes 3, 4, and 5, especially 3 and 5, are really good Star Wars content. So it's good media for profit, and if you like Star Wars, you should definitely watch at least the middle 3 episodes.
There you go.
So yeah.
I'll give it a 5 out of 7. I definitely liked the second half better, and I thought that the Morgan was a little bit, unneeded, but really I probably would have gave it a 4, but what you said just a few minutes ago, that it's better that they showed this. Like, they were going to do this anyway because they needed, or they at least felt they needed to flesh out this character a little bit more, and I think that 45 minutes worth of cartoon is definitely better than a book. So and the fight scenes were fucking awesome. And the Thrawn,
there
was
was
awesome.
nice stuff.
You know what I mean? Like there was some awesome stuff. So,
and now they also set up our episodes of Ahsoka and Bo-Katan meeting each other to have that conversation and send Ahsoka to the planet to go after.
Now we can watch that. Let's watch that in the cartoon.
Because I had to wait till the credits to see who it was that spoke over the intercom, and that was Bo-Katan.
Yeah, because they showed her helmet too in the little thing at the beginning, I think too. So okay, well, cool. Well, I think that's all we want to talk about for this. Like we said, next week we're going to be coming back to wrap up X-Men 97. And then we got a free week the following week, which we will probably get to that They Live live watch through. So make sure you bring plenty of bubble gum for that one. And then we have Furiosa, and then we'll be right back to
coming into some more Star Wars.
More Star Wars
comes out.
Because we did get the new full trailer for the Acolyte, and
what the fuck is the Acolyte?
The Acolyte is the it's a tale that takes place in the High Republic era. It's supposed to take place approximately 100 years prior to Phantom Menace. And basically is the first introduction into the High Republic era of the Sith.
Right.
A group that went basically extinct and is now trying to make a comeback.
Right. I think it's that transition from there's a few ideas that were from like the old Republic era and stuff like that, where the Sith originally there was a lot of them, and at a certain point someone did that rule of 2. You know what I mean? Where there's only a master and apprentice. And I think this is kind of where that idea starts culminating. And we're likely to see Palpatine's what is his name?
The story he tells Anakin. I don't remember.
I can't think of it.
We're failing at Star Wars
Nerds are real mad right now.
The guy that trained.
The guy he murdered.
The guy he murdered.
Yeah, the guy he murdered.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course, we're
Plagueis.
still in
Plagueis.
Darth
Plagueis.
Plagueis, yeah.
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 And we're also still, definitely could see young Yoda or younger Yoda. He would only be what, 700 or something?
The-
now?
Somewhere
About
around there. It
850?
was over 900 when he died, so he'd be around
Yeah.
about 750. Or so.
750 or so.
He's going through a divorce and shit, and
Yeah.
he's like getting into weird shit in it.
Him and,
This is when
him
he
and
starts
Yaddle are
losing his
him and
hair.
Yaddle are at odds.
Yeah,
It's just
he's gonna
makes
have
it
that.
awkward
Yeah.
100 years later when we see her. And
He's gonna start with that
Mhm.
long Yaddle hair, and then during the divorce,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah,
see
yeah.
him start losing it.
He's been running around with an Ewok and shit. Like he's doing all sorts of crazy shit. Fucking midlife Yoda. Thank God.
He gets caught with a certain kind of droid.
and,
You know
then,
what I mean?
and then for,
Like that one that Lando had.
yes, Leet.
So that's what we got coming up. We will be here next week for X-Men 97. We won't have the fabulous Jesse here, so bear with me next
As
week.
we push buttons from our laps.
Yeah, we might just be saying our ratings and shit next week. We'll just see how that goes.
All right.
And did you catch the trailer that I sent to everybody
For the Lego?
for Lego Star Wars?
I didn't
basically
watch
Lego
all of it.
Star Wars What If.
Yeah.
What if? Ah, yeah.
It's basically what it is.
Awesome. I love
Okay.
it.
Because we get now in a form Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah, that's right. Darth Jar
Oh,
Jar.
Lord.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, other than robot chicken form, which still
Oh, no,
counts in
that's
some
fine.
circles.
But no, this is now official Star Wars
Star
Darth
Wars
Jar
is
Jar.
going for it. Hey, that's great.
Yeah.
I still think they should just go back and redo that and make that the real thing. All right. So that's going to do it for us this week. We will be back next week, like you said, for X-Men 97. Until then, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. I am Smokin Phat J.
I am Matt Christy.
Magnus.
Magnus, I'm sure, is returning
Magnus
next week.
Magnus
Organa
Brady.
Solo.
Magnus Brady.
All right, guys. We'll see you next
Magnus,
week. For
Magnus, Magnus.
I know. I'm sick and tired of it.
fun.
Charles.
Oh, Lord. Great.
We walked his way with his stretchy long legs. What a dick move.
Hey, okay. We'll talk about it next